in this exclusive episode of the Horror Headquarters. I don't understand why people have to drive like maniacs, especially on holidays like this. I can't believe I'm even announcing this today to you guys. 2024 was a shit show in so many ways, but I definitely have to say the horror was phenomenal. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special episode of the Horror Headquarters. This is the New Year's Eve episode that I'm going to be releasing today. I'm actually recording this on New Year's Eve, which is pretty cool. But I figured why not end the year on a kind of a good note while talking about a little something that I have coming next year. But let me just start off by giving a quick PSA, even though I think this is common sense. Please don't drink and drive. Please don't get drunk and decide, oh, I can drive home on my own. Please don't drive like maniacs any day. But on New Year's Eve, can we just please not think that all these rules are suddenly disappearing? Because I don't understand why people decide to drink and drive, especially around the holidays. I get it. You're having a good time, you're out with friends, but can you grow a brain? Can you please have a brain and think, I shouldn't drink and drive? No, because you're under the influence. Can you just not do that? I'm sorry, but there's no excuse for that. And if you know you're gonna drink, you should be able to make the preconception of, okay, I should have someone drive me home. Let me let them know now so that they don't let me leave without letting them know and that they can drive me home and they don't let me go home on my own. That's just common sense, you guys. Now, this is a true horror story of people drinking and driving. Like, just alone today, in my neighborhood, I've heard so many different ambulances, and each one was for some sort of kind of car accident. Because I've received multiple texts from the Livonia Police Department. I've even seen pages that are nearby, like cities nearby, that I live next to, that have said there's so many accidents today from people drinking and driving, from people hitting people walking on the sidewalks because they're under the influence, and there's so much more police out there. And you'd think that people would actually be cautious, especially on days like this, but I guess they just kind of ignore all of that, and it just makes me so upset. And again, I know this is a rant, I know I'm starting off like very like into it, like I'm jumping right into it, but this needs to be said right now for anyone out there that's like drinking tonight or planning on having like a really good time. Please just make sure that you have a designated driver to get you back home, or if you are drinking, please make sure you're at home. That's all I ask. And ask for an Uber, a Lyft to come pick you up. Just be safe, you guys. Make good decisions. Don't let those decisions make permanent mistakes. Don't. Now, kind of moving on from that whole rant, just long story short, please be safe and have a great holiday. Have a good holiday weekend. Take care of yourself. Now, looking back on all the horror that we've had this year, I mean, we've had so many great films come out this year. We've had The Substance, we've had Nosferatu, which I have yet to watch, but I've heard it is phenomenal. We've had like The Devil's Advocate. We've just had so many different horror films released, and the most recent one that I've watched was actually The Substance. I'll be doing a separate episode on that. But I'm just gonna say it right now, it was extremely gory, but such an important story to tell. And that's what I'll say for now. But I highly recommend giving it a watch just to get a glimpse into how Hollywood really is, especially for women and for people that love talking about other people's bodies, about aging. It's just really unfortunate to see because it has happened. And when you watch it, you'll be able to understand a lot more. Now, of course, I've released my own horror film this year, Visions, on December 13th, on Friday the 13th, which has been a dream of mine for the longest time. That film, I'm so proud of it because I literally did the soundtrack for it, I directed it, I acted in it, I did the costuming, the makeup, everything, especially the makeup for the demon at the end. That was some of the most terrifying makeup that I've ever done. I should say the most terrifying. Because I remember as soon as the scene was done, because it was all filmed in one day. There was mosquitoes outside like crazy that were eating me alive. And thankfully the scene finished before anything on my face was visible on camera. When I went inside and flicked the light on in the bathroom, I scared the shit out of myself because of the makeup I was wearing. It genuinely terrified me. And now looking back at those scenes, I don't even remember shooting them because I like became that demon. Like I was so like encapsulated by this character that I'm like, I have to get in character. I have to be terrifying as much as possible. There's not going to be any sound behind this like specific scene, so I have to make it come out in visual ways and my physical appearance, the way I'm walking, the way I'm presenting myself. And I definitely think I've achieved that because I've received some really great feedback from people that have watched the film, and they say that that scene specifically genuinely terrified them. Now, this is a bonus episode, so I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but I wanted to get something out there for you guys for New Year's. So I have a little bit of an announcement that I'm very excited about. My next short film, Don't Go Downstairs, is releasing in 2025. I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth. I actually just came up with the idea recently, but I've been waiting for something to really click inside my mind, and I had an amazing idea, and I started writing down the script, and I'm like, oh my god, this is such a good film. I can't wait to execute this. And then I'm like, okay, the title. What's the title gonna be? Fun fact, I'm just gonna tell you now, the title was surprisingly given to me by my nephew. That's correct, you guys. My nephew gave me the name for this film. I love him dearly, and he was saying it as a joke. He was saying, don't go downstairs. That's where the name for the film came, and it fits very, very well for the film. I can't wait to start shooting it. Again, this isn't pre-production. I'm still writing the script, thinking about the characters, how many I'm gonna need. It's definitely gonna be smaller, but there's gonna be maybe 2 or 3 other people. That's what I'm preconceiving right now. That could change, that could fluctuate, I'm not sure. That's how I'm envisioning it right now. I've also put the poster up on Instagram for you guys to check out at the Horror Headquarters, or on my main page on my main Instagram, which should be linked in my bio on the Horror Headquarters if you guys want to check it out. I put it on my story. But you guys should see on either one of those pages. I'm just so excited for 2025. I have so much planned. It's also going to be the first full year that I don't have any school. That's exciting. And it's also going to be the full second year of this podcast. Being that 2024 was the first full year of the podcast, I just wanted to give myself a little pat on the back for continuing this long. It's crazy that I'm still doing this, and people are like, oh my god, I can't believe we're still doing that. I'm like, yes, I love it. It's such a joy to do. So yes, I am very pumped to see what comes for this podcast, what comes for my acting career, my singing career, my writing career. I have so much planned, you guys. I'm just so excited. Now, obviously, with 2024, there was a lot of pain that happened overseas in the Middle East, just around the world, in Sudan, Congo, Palestine, Lebanon. So many people suffering, so many people going through things, and I hope that 2025 brings peace to everyone that needs it. I hope that we continue to spread love throughout the new year. Of course, always, there shouldn't be a reminder like this, but these reminders are important to show us that empathy is important, that kindness is important, and you really never know what someone's going through. And there's just so many people that are in misery, that are in pain, but they don't have time to grieve because it's nonstop, especially in Palestine. So please take care of yourselves, be kind to one another, love each other, and let's hold some space for this new year. And I hope that it's an amazing year for everyone. I don't want to jinx it. I'm going to knock on wood for that. I just hope 2025 treats us better. I hope 2025 treats us well, and I hope it's a year of new accomplishments, of love, of happiness, of challenges. All in all, just a year that's filled with peace, love, opportunity, and kindness. And that's really my wish for everyone listening and for everyone around the world. It's also crazy to think that the 3-year anniversary of releasing my first short film is coming up, and that's February 5th, and it's going to be 3 years since I released Nightmare. And that actually makes me really emotional thinking about that. That 3 years ago, I released that film coming up, and I'm so proud of it because it's really what catapulted me into releasing more for you guys, into creating content, and I hope to continue to release so many more short films, especially in 2025, knocking on wood again, because I don't like putting large gaps in between my projects. The only reason I did for this one is because it was so focused, and it was like so important for me to make sure I gave every ounce, of course, with every project. But this one needed a lot of love. It just stumbled right there, sorry. This one needed a lot of love. It needed care, and it needed to be done correctly because it's about grief, it's about loss, it's about pain, it's about suffering, and I wanted to make it as genuine and as authentic and raw as possible. And I think I've achieved that with Visions, and I'm excited for this next one. It is another horror. It's another horror film, but this one's so good. Like, I just have it envisioned in my head, and it's gonna be phenomenal. And I cannot wait to release it. And I'm putting 2025 on there so that I can commit myself to finishing it in 2025 so that it's all yours. Now, something I want to talk about is how people think that New Year's Eve is actually bad luck to start manifesting things. I see that, but at the same time, I think it's a good time to leave everything in the past. I think it's a good time to refresh, to restart, even though I think every single day is a new start. But just starting fresh at the beginning of the calendar on January 1st, I think it's very important to just keep that in mind, that it's a fresh start and that everything is going to be all right, and you're going to go through another year of new achievements. Sorry, I just got so distracted. One of the neighbor's cars outside is squeaking like crazy because they're reversing, and I'm like, I want to open my window and be like, can you change your brakes, please? I'm that annoying, but even though my car makes that noise too. I'm like, I'm recording a podcast here, can you keep it down? You know, for me, I love to stay home on New Year's Eve. I love to watch horror films on New Year's Eve. Just to end myself with a little bang. Of course, I've watched Visions today, to kind of give me some inspo for the new film. You'll see why. You guys have probably seen it. If you guys have seen, I put out a new reel, and there's actually a scene from the new short film that I'm releasing that's in there somewhere. It's like a 0.2 second clip, but it's in there somewhere, and it's so good. But you know, some examples of people saying that New Year's Eve is bad is a lot of people have superstitions that the other worlds look for their next victims for the new year to kind of put a hex over. This is a lot of times where people that do hexes, that do magic, evil magic, that's when they put hexes on people for the next year. It's also, they say that you shouldn't play cards on New Year's Eve because if you end up losing, that's kind of a foreshadowing of the next year being a bad one for you. Now, I think that second one is bogus. I do think that first one is kind of realistic because I know there's a lot of evil people out there that love to use dark magic, even though it's highly forbidden and you're not supposed to. I mean, I think in every single religion, it's like not allowed. But you know, it's crazy because I know people that do evil magic and they're so evil. But you know, just make sure to keep that barrier around yourself. Like, I'm always ensuring I have my crystals with me, that I'm keeping that aura around me. I'm letting anything penetrate that. I'm ensuring that my energy is positive and that I'm keeping a positive mindset. And I give that to you all as well. Because, I mean, if you don't know by now, I'm very in tuned with, like, crystals and the magic that comes with it and the manifestation and the energy of it all. So I'm always embracing that as much as possible. And that's something going into the new year that I hope to do a lot more is manifestation. Because it's worked phenomenal for me in 2024, knock on wood again. But manifesting really does work, you guys. Don't let anyone tell you it doesn't. Now, there's so many horror films that I have yet to watch, like Nosferatu, that has Lily Rose Depp in it. There's also a bunch of other films. I don't know why I can't think about them right now. But what I do know is that Wednesday Season 2 comes out in 2025, even though there's a freaking 4-year gap in between. Like, can you not do that? Like, why do we have to wait so long in between films to release the next one? But I'm gonna search up what other horror films have released this year. Oh, Terrifier 3 I haven't watched. I haven't watched Don't Move. Oh, Hold Your Breath with Sarah Paulson. I have to put that at the top of my list because that one looks phenomenal. I also just want to say, earlier I said The Devil's Advocate is a film I haven't watched. The film is called Late Night with the Devil. I apologize. That film, from what I've heard, is cursed, and I am so excited to watch it for that reason. I know I sound crazy, But that one was actually released late last year, but I am very, very, very pumped to watch it and to see what I think of it. Now, obviously, there's so many other films that I'm forgetting right now. I know that I'm forgetting a lot. I mean, there's Your Monster with Melissa Barrera that I have to watch. There's like so many others. There's Long Legs. Yeah, like, see, there's all these new films I have yet to watch. But I'm happy I've watched The Substance before the new year. So, we'll see what 2025 has in terms of new horror films. I know we're getting the new Conjuring film, which is exciting. Can't wait for that. But yeah, you guys, that's it. I didn't want to make this episode too long. I mean, I know we're almost at like 15 minutes, but this is a bonus episode. I wanted to give you guys something before New Year's to kind of get a taste of what's to come. I know I haven't did an episode on Coraline yet. I want to make that one a video episode. That's why I've been putting it off, and I'm just trying to find the right time to do it where I don't have like any other obligations coming up. So I am still working on that one, but I'm excited to release that one for you guys because Coraline is one of my favorite horror films of all time. I absolutely love it. So keep that in mind. Know that I'm doing a lot of things behind the scenes. I hope you guys have a great holiday. Hope you guys have a phenomenal new year. Thank you guys for listening to this episode all the way through. Make sure you guys are following us on our social media at the Horror Headquarters, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok. We are all over the place. You can literally just search us up on Google, on Spotify, and you will find the entire playlist for the podcast. Any information that has to do with us will all be on there. Again, thank you guys so much for listening through. I hope for peace around the world, and I hope for love to continue to be spread. Take care, you guys, and tread very lightly and pray for forgiveness. 2025 is creeping around the corner.